Sunday morning, beer drinkers. It's your favorite commissioner here to bring you another edition of the Sunday Morning Beer Drinkers YouTube series. Let's talk about how bad my season is. Oh, okay, just kidding. But really, though, after complete analysis of the standings and where we are in the season, it's become very clear to me that I am the only one who is out, who's completely out, has no chance. Probably has something to do with the 10 losses. It doesn't matter who you have, it's what they do. And I think Nietzsche said that. But anyway, I digress. Let's dive right into it because we got a lot to talk about. I was going to record this video during Asher's nap time because it was going to be super fast and super easy because I thought, hey, it's the playoffs. Like, we can talk about who's got what and who needs to do what, and it shouldn't be too crazy. Turns out we've constructed a pretty great fantasy football league, and there's a lot of parity. So I had to go through team by team and break down the scenarios with which you or your buddies, just you. You don't care about your buddies. You may or may not make the playoffs. Like I said, the spoiler alert at the beginning of the video is that I am the only one who is 100% out. Everybody else has at least a gnat's ass chance of making it in. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to break it down team by team with graphics and funny little things that I have on the computers, which makes these videos so incredibly high quality and the reason you keep coming back year after year. Outside of the fact that we have a really dope league and it's really fun to play in, and here we are in week 13 and everybody's still got a little bit of a chance. So let's get right into it, huh? Okay. Starting off with the comeback kid, your boy Kessler has worked himself into a pretty solid position to possibly repeat what the accident that was him winning the whole thing last year. And by that, I mean that he has locked himself into the playoffs, per my notes. And he's the only question for Mr. Kessler is what seed that he could possibly have. So, based on these pages, you want to see them? Based on these pages and notes that I have here, I can tell you that he could still lose the number one seed. Now, the number one seed could be lost by him if he loses to Cole, but he holds the tiebreakers over the Bulldogs, and he will be the first number one seed in a three-way tie. And when I say the number one seed, I don't necessarily mean the number one seed overall, even though I think he will still be the number one seed overall. When I'm talking in this video, when I'm talking about people and where they're at, it is about their where they are, number one, number two, or number three in the division. So the ability to make the playoffs. And then where you're seated in the playoffs will be determined by your record and everything like that. But he is the highest scoring team in the league, and he could lock in the number one overall seed. However, if the Colldozers, so that's it. That's all I have for Kessler. If he wins, he's in, and he locks in the number one seed. That's it. Done. So I don't know how I can make it any easier for you, Joshy. Number two, we have the Colldozers. I'm going to take it down through Josh's division because his division has the most parity, because his division doesn't have the one team that has no chance, and that's the other division that I'm in. So, okay, Colldozers. The Colldozers could get the number one seed in their division if they win by more than 12.75 points. Why is that number significant? Because Cole is playing Kessler in week 13. So, Cole has won the one time that Kessler and them met earlier in the season. So Cole is 1-0 versus the comeback kid. And if he wins again, he will then hold the heads-up tiebreaker against the comeback kid. And they would both be 8-5. And at that point, as long as Cole wins by more than 12.75 points, Cole will be the number 1 seed of that division. There's a little bit more parity as far as the Cole Dozers go. Say, if Cole wins by less than 12.75, so still beats Kessler, but the Bulldogs win, Cole will then be the number 2 seed because it'll create a 3-way tie at the top at a record of 8-5. And at that point, everything defers to most points scored. And Kessler currently holds the most points scored, with Cole hot on his heels by 12.75 points. So, if Cole loses and the Bulldogs win, he will be the number 2 in the division. If Cole loses and Cucaracha wins, he will be the number 2 in the division. And in any case of a 3-way tie, if the Cole Dozers lose and there's a 3-way tie, he will be number 2 because he holds a 105.76 point advantage. Now, that's a 3-way tie between in second place. So if that's saying if Cole loses and it goes to, if Cole loses and there's a 3-way tie for second place at 7-6, Cole holds a 105.76 point advantage over the rest of y'all. So that's what Cole has to do. Bulldogs, what do you have to do? Bulldogs got to win. You got to win to get in. You are 1-0 versus El Cucaracha, which is who you happen to be playing in week 13. So, if you win, you are in. Congratulations. If you lose with a Cole Dozers win and a rebuilding year loss, you'll be number 3. And if you've lost by more than 36.75, and you'll be entirely out if you lose by more than 36.75 because you hold a 36.75 point advantage over El Cucaracha. Kind of crazy. You have a 36.75 advantage in a 3-way tie. El Cucaracha, my dude, Bentler, you must win. A, you got to win. B, you got to win by more than 36.75 points to even have a chance. And then it's dependent on what everybody else does above you. King Poop, rebuilding year. Man, I did the math. And you're not out. But you're kind of out. Like, you're not out, but you're kind of out. Because the scenario in which you make the playoffs looks like this. You win. You must win. El Cucaracha has to win. And you have to score 117 points more than the Bulldogs. So you would have to win by 200. You would have to score 200, and the Bulldogs would have to score, 83? So if you score 200 and the Bulldogs score 83, and you win and El Cucaracha wins, you can make the playoffs. Translation, you're rooting for Bentler. What? That doesn't even make sense. Okay. that's how it goes in Josh's division, which is the crazy one. In the more stable division, let's take a look at the guy at the top of this division, which is Rock Out with your Hawk Out. Rock Out with your Hawk Out, you're in. You got it, man. You did it, John. You did it, John. Ugly John has done it. He's in. He's got a chance. So long as nothing. John has secured the number 2 seed because he is he's going to be number 1. He's going to be the division winner of Johnny's division. So, congratulations to Rock Out with your Hawk Out. You are the number 2 seed. Fighting for the rest of the division. Trying to get number 2 in the division currently is my tight end is wide open, currently held by Johnny Vacay. And tight end is wide open is in. He is in the playoffs. There's nothing that can be said or done about it. He's in. He is 0-1 versus Salty, who he is playing this week, which adds an interesting little caveat. He has split versus the Wild Salmon, who is clinging to life. Let me break this down for you how it works out for tight end. So if he wins, he's winning. He's in even if he loses. But if he wants to maintain his current number 2 in the division status, he has to win. If he loses versus Salty and Wild Salmon loses, he will be number 3 because Salty will then have a 2-0 advantage over him, and it'll only be the 2 of them. So Saltness would jump up to number 2, and tight end wide open would fall down to number 3. If he loses to Salty, but Wild Salmon somehow finds a way to defeat yours truly, then Johnny will be number 2 in the division. Unless you've scored less than 69.35 points less than Salty, you'll be number 3. So, it's a 70-point swing. It's pretty hard to. So you could really say, you do hold in a because that situation would create a 3-way tie, and in a 3-way tie, Salty would have the advantage unless you were able to leapfrog him in the total scoring, which he holds an advantage on you of 69.35 points. So that's how it works for tight end wide open. That's also pretty much how it works for Saltness. Salty, if he wins, he's in. Unlike tight end wide open, who is just in, Salty does have to win to be in. If Salty wins, he's in. If he wins with a Wild Salmon loss, he's number 2. If he wins with a Wild Salmon win and scored, just like we were talking about, 69.35 points, he still has a chance to be number 2. With a loss and a Wild Salmon win, Salty will miss the playoffs. With a loss and a Wild Salmon loss, basically you're rooting for your boy. With a loss and a Wild Salmon loss, Salty will pull down number 3 in the division. And let's talk about the Wild Salmon. The Wild Salmon are 0-2 versus Salty. So, if they are tied with Salty, they lose. If they are in a 3-way tie, they lose because they're the lowest scoring team in the league. So, how does the Wild Salmon get in? It goes like this. The Wild Salmon, A, must win. That's against me. It's not as easy as it sounds. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching you. Unless you want to have your best game, like if you're feeling like having your best game of the season, like it's going to happen against me. You want to be the league leading scorer this week? Like you will be because you're playing me. Anyway, so Wild salmon, must win. First thing, must win. Second thing, Salt has to lose because y'all can't be tied. So if Salt loses and Wild Salmon wins, then Wild Salmon will still take the number 3 spot in that division and make it into the playoffs. And you know what they say, man? All you got to do is make the tournament. So that's where we're at. That's what I got for you for each and every single one of your divisions. I hope you guys love it. I hope you're super into it. I hope you are having a blast because honestly, even though I'm 2-10, it's been a blast watching like all this back and forth. Ton of parity in Josh's division, obviously, and still, after 13 weeks of the season, there's only one of us that's completely out of it. Everybody else has somewhat of a chance. So that's a lot of fun, man. It's been a lot of fun this season. I hope you're having a blast.